Hey man, we met already. I see a lot of energy out here, and all y'all look grateful, man. I mean, I definitely got a story for y'all. Who know about Washington, D.C.? It's a pretty tough little city, man. They used to call it Chocolate City. A lot of crime, a lot of violence. But what I see in y'all is youth. Youth alone, don't take it for granted. You know what I mean? All of y'all look healthy. Like there's no reason for you to take all that energy that it look. Some of y'all even look like y'all work out already. You know what I mean? So the energy that y'all have now, you already a step on the way outside for free. So what you need to do is really channel that energy, all that negativity to positivity. I can give you quite a few examples. I'm just gonna give you a few. You know, I started off knucklehead, thinking I knew everything, thinking I was invincible, thinking couldn't nobody do nothing with me just because I had hands myself. As a matter of fact, I'm a boxing trainer, fitness trainer. I got my own gym down by Woodlawn Lee. I'm a fashion designer, an artist. So I got a lot of things going on, even about to start managing youth comedians and things like that. But one thing I realized is that early on, I wasted all those years that y'all don't have to waste it, because you right there at the stage that you can actually capitalize off of your youth. Unfortunately, I didn't do that because I thought I knew it all. You know, I thought I, wanted to be the next Tupac, so to speak. You know what I mean? I'm like, all that negativity is what I admired, unfortunately. And I'm looking out here, I'm sure y'all had the same situation. A lot of things y'all seen, and unfortunately, even in the rap music, they tell you about a lot of things to do wrong, but they're not really preaching about doing right. And so unfortunately, we get caught up admiring a lot of the wrong things. Crazy enough, I admire being, sad to say, and I know y'all can relate, being locked up, being shot up, using drugs, all this nonsense, we admire it. Who can be honest and say some of that stuff they admire? Yeah, be honest, be real with yourself. That's the main person that you really focusing on anyway. And unfortunately, a lot of us thought that was cool and wasted plenty of years. You heard my man Corey say he wasted 11 years. And another thing that he really hit real hard was he's playing catch up. Think about that. He's playing catch up right now. You know what I mean? Like you just said, these boxers out here, they starting off early, so he gotta adapt and he gotta think and learn way quicker, because I mean he's around people that did it right the first time. He's 30 and he's fortunately, God put it in him to do things more constructive than destructive. You know what I mean? So it took me a long time, from being locked up countless times. My last time being locked up was for attempt murder in 2020. And I had my son, he was like 6 months at the time, and I'm over DC jail thinking, wow, man, I failed him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, am I gonna make it out? Am I gonna get a chance to plead my case? Is God just gonna take me through one more process and help me to see the light? I mean, so I went from facing charges off the charges to even, as we speak, I got a bullet left in my back from being shot 3 times. You'd have thought that would have scared me straight. It didn't. It made me come out the hospital and really feel invincible, unfortunately, at that time. Until I started really thinking about my kids' life. And I had to ask myself, are you really that much of a fool that you want to sit and leave your kids out here unattended? And it's easy to happen. A lot of times, that's the reason why a lot of us go through the court system, judiciary systems anyway, is because a lot of times the fathers just wasn't around. And so we try to figure out how to be our own man, so to speak. But the best thing you can do is capitalize off the time that you have right now. All of y'all, like you said, 16, 17, 18. There's no reason. Unfortunately, you're still in the juvenile system, so you won't even have these charges on your adult record. let's not put any on me. You know what I mean? Do everything to stay clean and get it right the first time, so you won't have to be like myself, reinventing myself. It took a lot, but fortunately my kids, I saw more love. I had more love for my kids than the streets. So fortunately, that's what helped me the very most. I don't think if I had my kids, I probably wouldn't be up here standing right now. I'd probably be doing time or even dead, because I'm not Superman. So I could have got killed myself. You know what I mean? So you think about it right now. This is your defining moment today. What you do from here on is going to affect the rest of your life. So you got to really think about what you doing. Really, what we doing here is we pleading to y'all to get y'all mind right. So that we won't have to see y'all in situations over and over. And like my man Joseph Chapman said, the big house. Then you really stuck. You know, because when you come home, then if you don't have a plan, if you're not able to reinvent yourself, a lot of times you go right back into the same BS. And that's something that you really don't want to do. You want to take full advantage of your youth, man. When y'all look out here, y'all need to hold y'all head up high, realizing, wow, man, Coach Felix, you got a real good point. He's young. You got all the chances in the world to straighten up and help others to not follow in your footsteps. Help others to say, hey, you know what? Y'all ain't gonna do the younger ones. You can be like, man, you know what? Y'all ain't gonna come through this judiciary system. Youth Center 1, Youth Center, I don't know what centers they got down here, but all those little juvenile systems, you want to try to help them from following in those footsteps. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, y'all, come on, I see potential. You know, I had strong dap handshakes when I came around and hollered at y'all. You know what I mean? So you got to put all that energy in something constructive instead of destructive. You know, that way, 20 years down the road, you established. You ain't have to say, man, look what I'm gonna do. I'm coming out 20 years later. You know, matter of fact, one of my closest partners just came down here from doing 20 years. As a matter of fact, he actually did 20 years. He actually got a chance to meet him.
But what he got locked up for?
A double homicide. You know what I mean? So he was, believe it or not, he was fortunate to only do 20 because he took a plea. Because really, they was about to throw him all the way under jail, like 144 years. He took a plea, but he came out and he's been home now for like 2 years, doing great compared to where he was at. Because 20 years locked up around a bunch of dudes. Come on, who want that? You know what I mean? I mean, for real. You know what I mean? I'm like, who wants that? I know I didn't. I like being around women. You know what I mean? So for me, it was that already was an incentive to say, look, you don't have to try to figure out how you can stay out. Because I don't want to be around a whole bunch of dudes. I don't want to share no cell while I'm trying to eat my cereal and a dude sitting on the toilet. You dig where I'm coming from? Y'all feel me? Because it's for real. You know what I mean? Get it right now. Be smart. Use that energy. Because one thing I can honestly say is most street dudes, hustlers and all of that, it's a lot of intelligence there. It's just the way you channel it. Because believe it or not, it took some wit for me to get out in the streets and to convert some of that dirty money to something clean and to be able to do it. Really, it took some wits to do that. But most people don't even get a chance to clean anything up because they get so engulfed into the streets, so stuck that by the time they come out, they lost. They like in Mars. You come out 20 years later and technology crazy the way it is now. I can't keep up now with some of the apps and stuff. I be having to holler at my son, hey son, you help me out with this? But he's 22 and getting it right the first time, all because I really helped him to see that look, you don't want to go down that road. Believe me. I mean, it might sound cool. You might hear little stories about your father. Oh, your father was wild. He's crazy. He used to be quick to do this and all that. I'm like, it might sound cool until you locked up and you ain't getting no pink slip. Ain't nobody sending you no commissary. You hoping your celly share his little hot fries or whatever with you. You gotta think about all that. Right now is your defining moment. When you leave out this door, you should have a whole nother mindset. You shouldn't be thinking about, oh man, when I get out this joint, man, I'm gonna get get back out in the streets, I'm gonna do this. Nah, when you get out, when you get released off these papers, your mind should already be focused on, man, let me get ready to work on getting trade. Let me see, what do I like to do? Do I like the electronics? Like I heard somebody say construction, your boxing, whatever it is, you need to start mapping it out so you won't put yourself back in a situation that's going to escalate to bigger problems. So really, I hope, man, what I said resonated. I hope it soaked in. I hope something you heard, even if it's just one sentence, I hope something help y'all today. Do y'all have any questions? You think y'all, excuse me, you think y'all gonna leave out with a stronger mindset of doing things correct? How many think y'all gonna do that? Man, that's beautiful, man. Because look, the real tough guys is the ones that stand out the way of all that nonsense. It's easy. It's real easy to get caught up in these little cliques, gangs, and all of that. Half these dudes, they can't hold their own. They can't be by themselves anyway, because really they weak anyway. Even when I was locked up, I wasn't gonna be sitting here around dudes slamming cars on the table, disrespecting, motherfucker, acting a fool, because I couldn't even take that. You know, I mean, I wanted to throw a hook on them, throw an uppercut. I was stuck in here, just, look, you don't know me, why you call me all these names, why we supposed to be playing cards? Who need that? When you can find some positive people to be around, like me, I'm around nothing but positivity, man. People be looking like, man, how did he do that? Like, man, you got, like, Mexican, you got everybody just around Felix, man. Love to be around him because people not looking for perfection, they looking for real. Believe me, people are not looking for perfection. If they was looking for perfection, I wouldn't have all the professionals that came around the corner that's actually at my gym training with me and all that. As a matter of fact, when y'all get completely released, you gotta look me up when y'all get on Instagram under Tambora Athletics. Anybody that want to come through the gym, I'm actually treat y'all to a month full of training.
Yeah, because I'm gonna probably bring them to the gym on the field trip.
Okay, yeah, you hear that? So yeah, y'all keep doing the right thing, man, and please listen to us up here, man. Because the only thing we took time out our day just because we really genuinely want to help. That's the only reason. We're not getting paid for this. Our payday is seeing y'all progress instead of degress. So man, if y'all have any questions, feel free to holler at me.